This is Wiggum from Reddit Omega bringing you a recap of war number 206. If you're looking for the recap for 205 and missed it, I apologize, but with a minor update, I lost all the replays before I could record them and get you that recap. So I'm trying to make up for it with a good one today. So we were matched up against Team Canada, a random matchup, also level 8, but primarily a 2-star clan, and that results in a pretty easy win when you are much better at 3-starring than your opposition. And you'll see from the map we dropped a star on a Town Hall 10, and then we cleared all the Town Hall 9s except one. We left a star on the table, but very, very solid war effort overall, and I'm going to show you 6 attacks today. Before I do, I would like to point out that recently in matchups where we anticipate a tougher match, or even if we just want to train for a tougher match, what we've been doing is creating a war plan in which we designate people to hit a certain range of bases. We designate different teams. We even designate people to do fresh attacks versus cleanup attacks. And whenever you do that, the importance is getting a good scout and getting a good cleanup. And I just want to point out that at our Town Hall 9 level, you're going to see some very, very solid performance from the top Town Hall 9s. Now, I wasn't actually in this war, but you'll see between MrTeaa, Frodo Baggins, and Apex Southpaw, you had perfect wars and 6 cleaned up bases. Same thing for Aya. PooGas had a nice cleanup. Beakerface with 2 cleanups. You'll see that the execution on the cleanups attacks, you Tiger 6-star war, was very, very solid. And then we did have a Town Hall advantage, and the Town Hall 8s were all cleared on fresh attacks. So that allowed us to set aside some more attacks for Town Hall 9 scouting and Town Hall 9 cleanup. So a really solid war effort all around. First attack I'm going to show you is Link attacking their number 23. Now Link is attacking up. This is a fresh attack. You'll note that it is a Shattered Goho. And with an easy lure position, he sends in 1 sacrificial hog, got the anchor archer down. In a previous war recap, I showed you a very clean way to deal with this CC, and Link is going to show it to you again. So he's pulling everything out, being very patient. Now, 1 barbarian, and then wizards, and then he trickles in more barbarians, and those barbarians are just to keep the dragon and the loons occupied because they proximity aggro. Beautiful cleanup. Now at higher, when you get your golems upgraded, that's not quite as important because the golems can tank that CC a little longer, but just a very pretty way of getting a CC cleanup and to get started or get ahead on your funnel. You notice he's going to jump straight into the Archer Queen. And you'll note Link is not, he doesn't have his Archer Queen for this attack. He is upgrading his Archer Queen, but it doesn't matter. Now he's got a Wall Hog from the southwest. And I just want to point out the reason Wall Hog is so good here is because of what his Kill Squad does. You'll see that his Kill Squad kind of shapes his base and really channels these hogs to follow this path. And whenever you can do that, it really lines them up really nicely for heal placement. So watch that. Okay, first heal gets every single hog, every one of them, while they're tanking the Barbarian King, getting this high hit point expo. And then you'll notice the hogs are mostly together. A few split to that expo, but that's okay. Now he drops his other heal, a second heal where he thinks there's a double giant bomb, and he sets them off 1 by 1. May have lost 1 hog there. And now he has a 3rd heal, and he's going to drop it, you guessed it, right here where the Wizard Tower is, and that Tesla and the Barbarian King. And then drops a poison. This poison is just to slow down the Barbarian King. Whenever you don't use your poison to kill the CC, and you don't have any skeleton spawn that you're going to poison, that's one thing I like to save that poison for, it's useful to drop it on that Barbarian King just so he does a little less damage. Now here it doesn't matter whether you clean up with 20 hogs or 19 hogs, it's not that big of a difference. But sometimes when time is a concern, just that poison on the Barbarian King to preserve a hog or 2 can make the difference between succeeding or failing. Now you'll note with cleanup troops, he's addressed these corner archer huts or builder huts, and he has very cleanly, fresh attack cleared a higher rated opponent. So a very strong attack. Next attack I'm going to show you is PooGas on their number 21. Now this was a cleanup attack, so this base had been scouted. This is a Govaho, you see. PooGas had a very sick Govaho in war number 205, the war that I wasn't able to get a recap done on because the replays disappeared. So I resolved to make up for it in this video. Fortunately, PooGas obliged me and did a great attack again using that same composition. So you see he goes ahead and spawns the CC and then poisons poisons down that Valk, and gets that dragon at about almost 1/3 health. He's going to proceed with his 2 golems, creating a fairly wide funnel with his wizards. Notice 2 wizards on that Dark Elixir storage. Anytime you have a high point building that you need to take down for your funnel, it's worthwhile investing 2 wizards for it. Got his Valks in. Notice the Valks do not take any damage at all from that dragon. Got a jump and a heal going directly into that Archer Queen. And the Valks will thrash her and will take down these skeletons as well. And now he starts his hogging. Hogging from the opposite direction of the base. Notice a funneling wizard still around there helping him clean up. So he bends these hogs around using the sweeper, and it keeps them under heal. And you notice that this base had pretty bad giant bomb placements, but not a single giant bomb has hit a hog yet, and will not hit one at all. So with these remaining hogs, he's going to take down these last point defenses. You see he still has Valks engaged in cleanup, both heroes alive, and both heroes at full health. And it's a straightforward win from here. So the Valkyrie, we often see Valkyries thrown into the mix when there's a big core, but Valkyries are also really good when you think your kill squad's going to trip giant bombs, because unlike, say, wizards or witches, Valkyries will live through them, and particularly under heal, so good hit. Next attack is from GrrnMan. This is a fresh attack, and he is attacking up. Now he's going to start immediately with golems. He's using a shattered layout here. I've seen stoned used also in this layout. I believe GrrnMan has already 3-starred in a base just like this in a recap that I did. But essentially this is kind of a moat base, and we know that there are Teslas and double giant bombs in this moat. So quite simply, you brute force your way through to it, creating a nice funnel. And those camp placements really helped with that because they're low hit point. And he's just going to jump over those Teslas and get into this Archer Queen. Goes ahead and drops a Rage. Whenever you have a couple of wizards helping out in your kill squad, they benefit quite a bit if you Rage. And now he's going to go ahead and start hogging. He has set off 1 giant bomb, 2 giant bombs, 3 giant bombs, all 4 giant bombs with his kill squad. So his hogs are unchecked. Okay, there are some skeletons, but that's no big deal. So he goes ahead and starts, he just has 2 heals because he had a jump and a Rage, but that's all he needs. By the time his hogs are no longer under heal, they've just got a very few point defenses left, and the mortars in particular go down very quickly. Now he poisons the skeletons there when his hogs converge, and he gets every single one of those skeletons. Nice touch. Probably would have still succeeded had he not done that, but I always like to see that thoughtfulness. And you see his wizards are cleaning up around the base, converging toward the hogs, which is always something that I like to see as well. And there is absolutely no issue with time. Okay, there was a corner hut and there's another corner hut. It would have been nice to drop an archer on those, but still, a very good attack. Okay, next attack is MrTeaa on their number 9. This was a cleanup attack. So it had been scouted, but even if it hadn't been scouted, it's pretty obvious where the trap placement is. So Teaa is running a fairly standard shattered Goho. He's taken out a few archers to add a hog and a giant. Taken out a few wizards rather. So a straightforward start, splits the middle with his wall breakers. So both golems are going to take that that broken compartment. And then he jumps on top of the Archer Queen. You'll note that he's running this attack without his Barbarian King. So he just relies on his wizards and his archer queen to take out everything, and they oblige him. Now watch the hogging here. Watch this heel placement. That heel placement gets almost every single hog. Very high value heel on that quad Tesla bank. There are some springs and some skeletons, which kind of slows hogs down a bit. But look at his hogs converging. They're converging in one area, and that heel is going to get all of them, every single hog remaining. And because his archer queen's up and still taking out point defenses, finally uses her ability. You'll see that he has a heal spell to spare. This is typical T stuff. He has no Barbarian King. He's attacking someone higher rated than him, and he has a leftover heal spell. So it's a fairly straightforward cleanup, but there is a little nice touch here that I want to point out. Obviously his archer queen is shooting walls. That's pretty common. Okay, so he does have to deal with this Barbarian King. It could actually slow down or prevent him from cleaning up. So he goes ahead and uses his last heal there and takes out that Barbarian King with that queen under heal. If he hadn't, it's possible that his raid would not have worked because the king might have jumped in there and taken out these 4 hogs, and then the wizards probably would have ran out of time before they could break their way in to take out that town hall. Then the king might have taken them out as well. So very nice touch, actually. Very cute. Okay, the last 2 attacks I'm going to show you are Town Hall 10 attacks, and you may look and go, but wait a second, they're not 3-starred. They are not 3-starred, but it's a darn good attack anyway. So this is an attack that Deezaster did, which I thought was a pretty brilliant attack, and it just fell short of 3-starring. But after the update with more time, this will 3-star, and so I am quite encouraged by it. So it starts out with an AQ walk. Now you can tell from the La Lune attack that's coming that he wants to take out a couple of air defenses. AQ walk is very useful on a base like this for doing that. But the downside of an AQ walk is it's kind of a slow attack. So you have to, sometimes you have to scramble for time. And obviously, you know, knowing that he's not going to 3-star, you see that time is an issue. But after the update with 30 seconds added to attack timers, not an issue at all. Okay, so the AQ walk's proceeding just fine. Takes out one side of the base. She's going to go ahead and beat her way in instead of going around the base and trying to take out that last air defense. So that's something he perhaps didn't plan on, and you can tell by his wall breaker deployment that that's not what he was hoping for. But his Barbarian King is quite high leveled and is very angry and is taking things out very quickly. And then he's got 2 air defenses down and he's got 33% of the base down, and he's going to go ahead and start his La Lune. So couple hounds, lots of loons, and see haste spells. Now, unfortunately, this queen is going to die. That freeze spell almost saved her, but the healers got blown away. And that unfortunately hurts quite a bit. But freeze spells takes out the core. You see every loon that he has is in the core, taking out those core defenses. Now, he has a hound left, and actually 2 hounds left, and he'd really like this in single target Inferno to target his hounds to spawn pups, but it targeted healers instead. And because of that, he doesn't have any minion. He doesn't have any pups right now. So when we look at cleanup, you can see that, you know, would you rather have 2 hounds or would you rather have, 15 pups or so? Well, obviously you'd rather have the pups. And because of that, this is going to fall a little bit short of the 3, about 3 seconds too short. But if even one hound had popped, or if the archer queen had stayed alive, that would have been a 3. And after the update, it will be a 3. So it was a great attack, particularly against that base. And even though it doesn't wipe the base, it's still worth noting. Oh, whoops! We are queuing for a war here. Okay, and the last attack I want to show you is Sorak against their number 4. Now, again, you see we have a time issue, so let's see what happens. We also have an AQ walk again. So minion creates a very nice funnel. well, it's not really a funnel, but helps facilitate the Archer Queen pathing. And you'll note that she's going to path into this air defense and take it out before it can even attack the healers. That's good. So it goes ahead and drops a rage. The Archer Queen almost died, but the rage on those healers will certainly keep her alive and actually get her back up to full. Now he's going to go ahead and drop 2 golems and wall break his way in. And he's going to drop PooGas, which is nice to see. And once he takes out this CC, he's also got a couple of hogs that you see that he's going to drop. And he's got a very specific purpose for those hogs. So here they come. 5 hogs, you have a golem tanking for them, and he goes ahead and drops a heal so that they take out about 4-point defenses, maybe even 5-point defenses. And during this time, his kill squad has taken out the entirety of the core. He still has some healers alive, healing his Barbarian King. And these hogs are still alive, so they take down about 5-point defenses. That's very good value for them, and also trip a giant bomb. So both heroes are alive, pathing around the base. The Archer Queen didn't go into the compartment, but it's probably better that she didn't, because she's helping out cleaning up these high hit point outside buildings. His Barbarian King is going to go down, but he has a P.E.K.K.A left, and P.E.K.K.As are very, very solid against buildings, particularly if they have a rage spell, but even without, they do wonders. So his Archer Queen is left with trying to clean up the entirety of this base. Obviously that's not possible given the time constraints, but it's really, really close. So he uses his cloak ability, takes out 3, all the point defenses that can hit his minions remaining, and we just have the sweeper and a couple of resource buildings. Couldn't quite get it, but still a very, very solid attack, and indicative of what you're going to see more in the Town Hall 10 meta after this update. AQ walks are going to feature much more prominently. Even with the healer nerf, which is not quite clear how that's going to affect farming, it should not affect AQ walks in wars. Okay, that's all the attacks. I hope you enjoyed this recap, and tune in for the next one, which I will try to get out in time before an update, but I can't promise anything because one is certainly coming soon, any day now.